Welcome back to Stay in Your Lane with Ashley Battersby.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the show. Our next guest is Nayoka Francis of Blue Lily Consulting, which is an end-of-life consulting company. So, Nayoka, welcome.
Thank you.
Now, tell me why I would need your consulting company. What can you do for me?
So Blue Lily Consulting is actually an end-of-life consulting service that helps individual and families beforehand and after death to get their affairs in order. What we do is sit with you, have a counseling session to find out what you have, because most people don't think they have anything if they don't own a house, and what you can put together, what you need to put together, and to help the transition of the loved one when they pass for the families to be a little smoother.
Okay, I got you. So, have you noticed that people are more or less prepared? I guess, like people that you've come into contact with, are they kind of like, oh my God, I did not know that I needed you, or I actually have myself together.
Right. So since COVID, unfortunately, a lot of us think more about end of lives.
Yeah.
But we're thinking about it and not actually writing it down and put on paper. We have some people that actually feel that their children know what they want and know how they want it done. But personally, if it's not written down, then it can still be an issue in the end. So better to know what you can put in place. I mean, even some of the little objects in your home, like if you have some china,
right,
you want to pass on, if it's not written down, somebody can come take it, or somebody's put it out for charity. Or
because at that point, you're not here anymore.
Right, exactly. Right, exactly. So to put any of this affairs in order beforehand is the best thing you could possibly do.
Because being reactive to it, you realize how much you have to pay out when you're not ready for it.
And that's another
scrambling
thing.
For it.
Right, exactly. So if you're not prepared, or if you don't have, say, a life policy put in together and something happens, how is your family actually going to be able to pay for that funeral or pay for any debts or anything you have? And if you got loved ones, little children, how are they actually going to survive after the fact?
Right.
Who's taking care of them? What's their living, education, and all of that's going to be fit. So if all of that's not kind of put in place, then what happens to them? Even for those that don't have children, if you have pets, what happens to them? Are they going to be in a shelter? They just put down to sleep?
We don't want that.
Right, exactly.
So if you were to give somebody, like, if you're going to have nothing else, have this, or maybe this short list of things, what would that look like?
So I would say, first of all, everybody needs an advance directive, a power of attorney, and a will. That's, to me, is the most you need. If you don't have anything else, have a wheel. It doesn't matter if you just have a car or a bike, have a wheel put in place.
Because at that point, it's in black and white.
Exactly.
And you can't
Nothing.
argue with that.
Exactly.
Okay,
exactly.
That makes sense. And would you say, like, you can start this at any age? Like, once you start a full-time job, would this be something you can start saving towards first thing?
I think eventually, yes, you should start saving towards. But as you first get a job, as we kind of put aside for our pension, we have health insurance, I think a life policy should be something you kind of start and you put together yourself. It's something you get practice the earlier you start.
Right.
And I think if most of us parents, some of us weren't taught to kind of put that in place when we were younger, didn't think about it. If we start now with our generation of kids, it'll become easier, it becomes something part of life, it becomes normal. So it makes it a lot easier going forward for those ones to kind of put that plan in place, and makes it easier for the next generation coming up.
Right. And I mean, we'd love to make everything easier for our kids.
Exactly.
And cheap.
Right, and you want to kind of leave something for your kids,
Right.
A little something.
Right.
It could be a nest egg, it could be just something so they feel once you pass, they're not paying off a whole lot of debts because they're
on top of living their own lives.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Okay, that's very interesting. That's not really something I have a life insurance policy, but it's not something before my life insurance policy that I thought about too much.
Right.
Because you think about living, you don't really think about.
Exactly. And that's my thing. If you can plan for the birthday parties and all the weddings and everything else, I mean, this is just another thing, and it's important.
Right.
So my favorite thing is your funeral is the ultimate celebration in life. So for me, it's if you can actually put that all together yourself or start the process. For us women, we like to have the last say. I kind of say you get the last say if you put it together.
It makes a lot of sense. And again, it's in black and white. So
Right,
they can't
exactly.
say she doesn't want put that because
Exactly.
she knows, she wrote it down.
And most times, I mean, if you have more than one child or 3 or 4, you know, someone's going to say, no, she wanted this. No, mom wanted that. Or dad wanted this, wanted that. So if it's in black and white, then there's really no fuss and it's okay, you know.
Okay.
It kind of makes the transition a little smoother.
On everybody.
Right,
Because
exactly.
it's already a lot to deal with losing a loved one.
Exactly.
And then,
And mind you, as much as we think we have it together, so for my instance, when my mom passed, and for me, I need to have it all laid out and together. As much as I thought I had it together, when the time came, I was a mess. Didn't know it, but I was a mess. I was still doing it, but I'm
Right.
doing it in grief. I'm doing it while I'm numb. I'm still, you know,
And
it
a
was
lot.
still things that I missed or I wish I could have done.
okay, I got. So is this where Blue Lily came from?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
That's a very
I'm an
personal
only,
tie.
definitely. I'm the only child to both parents.
Okay.
So it's definitely difficult when you're burying both parents that didn't really have anything. So
Right, that's a lot on you.
Right, exactly.
Okay, I got you. So, because we spoke about life insurance with our previous guests, would you say that you've noticed that life insurance has been helpful and people have it, like for their families, obviously, when they need
I think
the money?
definitely. I think it could be helpful. Again, it's for especially for parents that have children that are under age. You can leave this policy for them for their education, or you know, start up living expenses while you're passed. Again, you can pay for your funeral expenses. Make sure there's a pay it before the beneficiary gets out, so they don't have that burden of looking to pay for that. You know, any debts that you leave, this life policy can actually be put in
Take care of
place so
it.
that not your family is not dealing with it. You know, it helps a lot. It could be a nest egg, again, living expenses after your pass is helping your family to move on and get back on their feet a little smoothly. It's definitely worth getting.
And if you start younger, you can get more.
More,
So then that
exactly.
also could contribute to generational wealth
Exactly.
going down the line.
And again, we don't know when we're passing.
Right.
So nobody knows when, how, where. So if that's in place and there's an accident or comes to a point that you're actually going before we think we're going anywhere, it's there, it's in place, it's already set.
And I mean, I have to say, with the way everybody is riding and driving these days, you would think that
Exactly.
everybody has all of their ducks in a row. Because, I mean, we're just out here playing to death.
Yes. You know, Bermudans have that wonderful driving experience. So, you know, we definitely need some.
That is so true. So one thing parents probably don't think about when they have a fresh 16-year-old who is ready to hop on that bike is the fact that they may wind up in an accident and they may leave this earth before they do.
Yes.
So how would you step in that situation, in that unfortunate situation?
All right. So with that situation, obviously, when your child passes before you do, it's devastating. It's hard. So what I can do is actually help the parent through the process of setting up the funeral, what they need to go through, if there's anything they need to put together. There to actually be a confidant for the parent if they need to be, or we can do everything together, visit the funeral home or anything you need to do to put that process together, anything that makes it a smooth process for them.
Right.
'Cause at that point, again, you don't expect your child to be going before you are.
You know, and dealing with that on top
Exactly.
of everything else.
Exactly.
So you just help kind of take that load off if they want. If
Yes.
they want to work with you, getting it together, then they can
Most
work
definitely,
with them.
and I suggest that it's definitely that we work together because they would know more about their child than I
Right.
do, and it's still sentimental, you know, at that process. for
Yes,
them.
definitely,
Yeah, and
definitely.
it's really hard. So
I was gonna say I can't imagine, but I don't think that I can.
no, that's
really
it.
don't
I
think I can.
mean, to watch a parent to go through it, it's devastating.
Excruciating, I'm
Exactly. So I mean, it's definitely that's what we're there for, to be that confident and to walk them through the process and make that
And be
as
part of their
easy as
support
possible.
system.
Exactly. Before, at the time, and even after when they need it.
Got you. So also, can you tell us how we can find you?
Yes.
Website, Instagram,
Website
Facebook.
is yes. I'm on Instagram. I do that more. The website is www.bluelilyconsultant.org.
Okay.
So I definitely have the website up. Definitely tweaking it right now because I am putting up keepsake urns as well, so people can actually have and keep with themselves if they decide to cremate someone. Some people tend to throw their ashes out or put them in the gravesite, but we have little stuff we're selling off they can actually keep, and it doesn't actually look so much like an urn, so it's easier to keep in a house or
More like decor.
put on you. Yes,
Got you.
exactly.
Okay, got you.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you for joining us.
Thank
we
you.
learned a lot here today. And thank you, everybody, for watching. And we look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Drive safe, Bermuda. Okay, bye.
Bye.
Thanks for watching. We hope that you have enjoyed the show. See you next time.